With Iron Man 3 filming beginning this week, we've got lots of new details from set photos.
We haven't seen the last of Gears of War.
And our survival horror video games going away, Dead Space 3 kinda gives us an answer.
Eric.
Jake.
Mike!
Ha! Today is Friday, June 1st, 2012. I can't believe it's already June. It's crazy.
Time is just flying by.
Flying by, kind of like...
Like my life. Where'd it go?
We're already almost halfway through the year, which is kind of unbelievable. It's pretty amazing.
Kill me
Never
now.
happens.
Yeah. I realize we take a little too long to get through this first section here, so I'm going to try to speed it up a little bit.
Oh, thank you, Eric.
Yes. If you have not liked us on Facebook and you're not following us on Twitter, please do so by clicking the links down in the info. Also down in the info are links to this week's reviews of People Mover's new album, You Barely Want to Hear This, Chernobyl Diaries, Moonrise Kingdom, which I apologize for those being late, by the way, Snow White and the Huntsman, and also down in the info is a link to our mailing list. Please sign up for that if you want to make sure you never miss an episode of Pretty Much It. Also, the last little thing, there's still time to purchase the Prometheus Crew t-shirt.
Time is clicking down.
Don't even go near
I didn't
my
touch
breasts.
it. I didn't touch it.
Don't go near them. And now we move on to the news from this week. Now, we've got a lot of video game news.
A big old pile of video game
Yes.
news, and you can expect that for the next couple of weeks.
Because
And,
of?
E3
Correct.
on the way.
But as usual, we're going to start with movie news, so let's get right into it, starting off with some release date news.
Oh, dates of stuff
Yes.
that's coming
and
out.
also titles.
Oh, okay.
Not very exciting. First of all, we've got a release date for the X-Men First Class sequel, which I guess doesn't have a title yet. It's just the X-Men First Class sequel, July 2014. As usual, I'm not going to say the exact date because I feel like they always are going to change around. But
Yeah.
July 2014 was announced as the date for the release of the X-Men First Class sequel, which I am very excited for. I don't know about
Cool.
you guys.
Oh
but-
yeah, I think this is gonna be like the first ever true X-Men movie because like all the other movies have been kind of like
Setups and stuff.
Yeah,
like
setups.
even First Class was great, but it was still a setup. movie.
Yeah, and all the other X-Men movies were just, the gang trying to get together.
Yeah.
And now it's like, we're a team, and now we gotta fight bad guys. Magneto's got his helmet.
We'll see. We'll see if it works out that way.
All right.
So
I really hope they find some kind of way to get Kevin Bacon in it again.
No.
I don't.
I do. That movie was the rise and return of Kevin Bacon's
I
career.
wouldn't say
I
that.
don't know actually about
think
that
you're-
at all,
I think
Jake.
you're just wrong,
completely
Jake.
wrong.
Why?
Just because you're Jake. Another release date was announced and also a title for the sequel to Rise of the Planet of the Apes, and if you were not a fan of the redundancy and repetition of that title, don't get excited because the new one's title is Dawn of the Planet of the Apes.
How
so,
creative.
same of the twice scenario.
So it's like Rise and Dawn. They're kind of like the same thing.
no, I don't know. I could see Rise being before the Dawn.
Rise of the Dawn of the Planet of the Rise of the Apes.
I guess. When I heard Rise of the Planet of the Apes, I thought the
Overtaking.
Apes, yeah, the apes
Yeah.
were
gonna
So
rise.
that's
yeah.
what this one is.
In the movie, they should have just called it The Apes Run Away. And now, now I guess they're taking over. So
Yeah, I imagine that's what it'll be. But the release date, I'm sorry, you said and I think you were going to say something.
I was just gonna say, I wonder how far.
What was this?
I was gonna say so.
Okay.
I wonder if it's gonna take place like too far in the future, or if it ends. I mean, if it starts how the other one ended.
I imagine it's going to be like that.
just hanging
Yeah,
out
a
in the
big
woods.
time jump.
No, I don't think so. I think it's going to be like it starts right where the other one ended.
So they're just sitting in the woods, and then they're like, you know what? Let's go
kill
overtake Sam."
everyone.
yeah, why not?
I wonder if they're gonna use guns. Imagine, because like if there's gonna be a war between monkeys and like modern humans, like how are they gonna win with that? Like
Shoot that thing. That's
you
all you're
really
gonna
need
do.
It's like a monkey just takes out like guns. Like, orangutan has got like.
I wouldn't be surprised. The release date was announced for that as well, May 2014. Same thing, I'm not going to say the exact date because I don't know if it's going to change. But
So we got a pretty good summer coming
in
a couple
2014,
years
we've got a couple
Really
good things
far
coming.
away.
Yep. Moving on to Iron Man 3. This is some big stuff.
Big stuff, and it's going to be very confusing for comic book fans.
Yeah.
Very confusing.
And I mean, I don't know all these storylines, but I've read enough that I know why it's confusing.
Mm-hmm.
But basically, Iron Man 3 began filming this week, I guess, one of these days this week. And there's a lot of set photos already, like immediately. The first one is, and I don't consider these to be spoilers because they're going to be big things.
Yeah,
It's
this
like
is-
spoilers up until this point, but it's stuff that they knew we would see. I don't think it's a big deal at all.
Yeah.
So basically, the first thing is the villain.
the villain. It's not. It's actually the way they described it is with the big picture is the side villain. They 100% confirm that the Mandarin is the villain played by Ben Kingsley.
Yep. And we already said everybody knows that, but it's confirmed now. And the other information that we got from set photos is
that the Iron Patriot is going to be in Iron Man 3, which is very confusing for comic book fans.
And first of all, whether he's good or bad, we don't know.
Yeah.
You assume that he's probably bad, right?
Because in the comic books, it turns out that the Iron Patriot is Norman Osborn.
Right.
Yeah.
Which could be, we really don't know if he's going to be good or bad, because in the comics, he was kind of like a fake American hero. Like
Right.
he was
Dark
like
Avenger,
he was a
yeah.
hero to everybody, but he was actually like
Yeah, exactly.
So-
And this actually fits in because I don't know if you remember, but they said that this storyline was like a terrorist plot, and there's an interesting dynamic of Iron Man fighting something with the American flag on it, and it
Yeah.
kind of that sort of thing makes Iron Man look bad, you know what I mean? And it's kind of interesting. It's like a propaganda type of deal.
I think it's
so it's a
kinda weird.
possibility.
I think that's what they're trying to set up. Maybe like Iron Man disappears off the face of the earth, and they have to replace him with the Iron Patriot.
I don't know. There's a lot of this opens like a whole can of worms.
So, which is
and it's crazy.
actually
It's stupid. I'm sorry.
Uh-oh.
It's
Whoa,
stupid.
whoa, whoa, why?
Just because, I don't know, I just feel like it doesn't fit in at all. In
It does
terms
seem
of
weird.
Just like, okay, so Iron Man isn't realistic, but they made him kind of believable.
Yeah.
So now to have that, and then to stretch it to the point of having a doofy one,
Yeah, it looks a little
dressed up
goofy,
like a Captain America colored Iron
Yeah.
Man. What?
Yeah, it is a little weird. I do agree.
And
I don't know
so-
whether it's bad or good, but I do agree that it's a little bit weird.
And this seems like the first character that they really have that is so far derived from the comics. Like they haven't really.
Oh yeah,
done that
the
too
Iron
hard.
Patriot is not an old character. It's within
He's
the last
brand new.
within
Yeah.
the last 5 years, kind
Yeah.
of new.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. It's definitely interesting news.
Yeah.
And
Which-
we'll have to see. We haven't seen enough to really know everything,
yeah.
but we'll have to see what happens.
The-
Based on what it looks like, though, I do think it looks a little silly.
Yeah.
Yeah, the reason why this is pretty surprising to me is because all this stuff that I've been hearing about what Iron Man 3 is about,
Mm.
this terrorist plot. I thought it was going to be a very far away Marvel movie,
Right,
Like, had
and it
nothing
ends
to-
up being looking campy already.
Yeah, like already. Well, yeah, it's very confusing. Well, I guess we'll have to see. How this
I'm
goes.
excited though to find out because it's I like being kind of like confused, confuzzled, as you might say.
Confuzz fuzz.
Well, yeah.
Moving on from Iron Man to the Avengers, we actually have kind of it's not news, but it's an interesting story that's worth mentioning.
Yeah, very interesting take on the ending of the Avengers and
Right. So,
yeah.
actually, because you say it's the ending, let's say
Another spoiler.
it's another spoiler
part.
thing. If you haven't seen the Avengers, which I'm sure most of you have, but if you have not seen it, mute now. We will wave our arms in just a few minutes.
So this was one of like, if I had a nitpick about the Avengers, this was like
Nitpick?
one of the.
Nitpick. I think that wasn't that on like a Stickly?
Nick's
The
Picks.
nitpick.
Yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
If I had to nitpick about the Avengers, I'd say one of the only things that kind of like felt wrong with me
I'm
was
gonna
like
agree.
Loki's motivation. It was
Yeah.
kind of like,
Dumb.
oh, Loki wants to rule Earth now. What? What?
Yeah, kind of out of nowhere.
But
Yeah.
this guy wrote up this thing where it kind of explains everything.
It makes the movie that much better.
A big
Yeah.
analysis.
Now,
So-
before we explain it, though, which I'll let you explain it, because you were the one that you pointed out to
Uh-huh.
us, I don't think that they intended this,
Mm-hmm.
but I do hope that they...
They take advantage of this.
Yes, I do hope so, yeah.
So the way the guy described it is some kind of the word for it is something gambit.
Xanatos Gambit.
Xanatos
is like the
Gambit,
word.
and that is when it pretty much a villain cannot win or lose, even if the heroes beat him,
Yeah.
because his end goal is to either win or lose.
Right.
So the Avengers beat him. They bring him back to Asgard, which turns out is exactly what Loki wants.
because
to
he
get
was
a free
banned from
ride. 'Cause
Asgard.
he was banned from
Yeah,
Asgard and
banished.
couldn't get back in.
He got a free ride back in.
And what's in Asgard?
Asgard, he wants it. But
That's not
Oh,
what
yeah,
we're getting
okay.
at. Yeah,
Well, yeah,
we're talking
but-
about the Infinity.
yeah,
Gauntlet.
okay, so
Infinity
so,
Gauntlet.
so Loki gets sent back to Asgard, one because he wants to take it over, but more importantly, Thanos wants the Infinity Gauntlet.
Correct.
Which
Which
is in what is it?
In his
Yeah,
trophy
tomb?
room,
Yeah.
or whatever the hell
Room.
that's called. I
Yeah.
called it the game
Yeah,
room.
why the hell would Odin have one of like the universe's
lying
most
around.
devastating weapon? That
Yeah,
you can pretty
whatever.
much wipe out reality, just like.
I wonder
in
what
a
else
throne
he's got
room.
in there.
Now, if this is sounding confusing to you and you don't know who the heck is Thanos, who's the Infinity Gauntlet, I mean, what is the Infinity Gauntlet? Click the link down in the info to go to our Who is Thanos video, which is super popular, by the
Yeah.
way. I don't know if anybody saw that, but
Very informative.
we do kind of an in-depth, not an in-depth look, but just explain who Thanos is, and you'll understand. But for anybody that does, this is huge and makes sense.
But this, like, it makes so much sense that I
Yeah.
don't even think it was unintentional. Like, it looks like it makes so much sense.
Yeah, I think they planned it.
I think they
really,
planned
I
this.
feel like they would
I
have
think
done a little more.
I think this is Joss Whedon at play. I think this is Joss Whedon's master plan. This sounds like something he'd do.
But see, here's the
Yeah.
deal. I think that if they did plan it, that would have been the after credits thing. They would have shown the Infinity Gauntlet at the last second. That's what I think. It's just, it seems like they didn't utilize it enough if that was their plan. Because that would be a great twist ending to that movie. They should have actually made it a twist ending to this movie.
I think that's going to be a twist in Avengers 2.
That'll be the start, though. I'm saying they could have. You'd never
Yeah.
expect a legitimate twist at the end of a superhero movie. They're pretty much just beginning, middle, end.
Uh-huh.
That could have been a legitimate huge twist, and people would have shit bricks.
I
They would have
guess,
shat
yeah.
their pants all across the land. So I think that it's unintentional for that reason alone. But we'll have to see. I guess we'll see. By the way, now as you know from last week, G.I. Joe was pushed off from this month.
For very important reasons.
Yeah,
very
to
important
next
reasons.
March because they want to convert it to 3D.
Very important.
Now, it turns out that's not the only reason why it's being pushed off. And this is actually pretty interesting.
Gasp.
This is not a spoiler because apparently it's the very beginning of the movie, and also if you're concerned about spoilers in G.I. Joe, I mean, I don't really know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't really know if
let's not
that's...
even waste our breath
Yeah,
with
but...
this.
So basically, Channing Tatum's character dies at the very beginning of G.I. Joe 2.
Sorry.
Channing Tatum is on the posters. He was the star of the previous movie, but apparently he dies right at the beginning. Now, here's the problem.
Don't tell me.
Well, this year, I know you know what I'm gonna say, but this year, Channing Tatum rose to popularity big time because of his charm in 21 Jump Street, and everybody loved him. They were like, "Wow, this guy's actually really funny." So people were really upset that he wasn't in the movie. In test screenings, they were like, "Wait a minute, we want Channing Tatum in the movie."
Oh,
So
what
they're
if-
going to shoot more with Channing Tatum, and that is pretty much the main reason.
So those added scenes that we were talking about that they're going to shove in are really going to be Channing Tatum scenes.
I don't know if they're going to bring him back and change the story and he's not dead or
this
what.
just
but-
keeps getting
mess.
more. This is like a huge rewrite now.
Yeah, I
Like, what
guess.
the hell is going on?
Apparently
with
the
this
movie's
movie?
not good, but test audiences say they love Channing Tatum and they wanted him in it, and I can understand that because I did love him also in 21 Jump Street.
All
he
right.
was fantastic in that. You didn't like that? Or you didn't see it? You didn't even see it.
I'm talking about Channing Tatum, and you're like, take it easy.
This is gonna be so bad for the box office. Like this is gonna cripple this production company. Like,
What a
who's
mess.
making this?
I don't even know who is it. Who cares really? Whoever
going
it is,
to
they're
lose-
down. Yeah.
Paramount.
This is
Is it Paramount? It is Paramount. I think it is.
This
yeah.
is gonna be bad for them because they're gonna lose so much money, and now they gotta make all these reshoots, and that's gonna cost a lot
This
of
could
money.
potentially become the most expensive movie of all time just because of the fact that they're essentially shooting a whole nother movie. Oh my god.
Oh
What
my
a
god,
mess.
this is just.
What is this, Men in Black 3?
And that's it for movie news. Before we move on to all the video game news, I'd like to just give a little bit of music news. For anyone that's a fan of Block Party, they announced today that their new album, 4, will be coming out on August 20th. The pre-order is going on now, and it's called 4 because basically Kelly was talking about how, they've been on hiatus, but all 4 of them came back together, and this is music that only the 4 of them could make
Oh, how
together.
nice!
Isn't that sweet?
How nice!
That's
how
good.
nice!
Yeah,
That's good.
at first I was
Makes me-
counting how many albums they put out. I'm like, is it the 4th album? I can't think, and I think it is, but it's doesn't matter because that's not the point. So I was wrong. But also they released a teaser of some of the music that you can hear on the album, and that is down in the links in the info. Now let's move on to video game news.
We got a lot to get
Let's
through.
prepare. Let's put on our hats.
Video game hats, which is very relevant to one of our news stories.
Starting off for video game news, we're going to do a bit of like an indie game spotlight. This is a
Small
game.
little thing.
New segment, Indie Game Spotlight.
You can check out the link for this in the place.
Down in the info,
In that
as he meant to
place.
say, down in that place.
It's a gameplay trailer of a game called Among the Sleep. It's a small PC title, and it's a horror first-person game.
A very interesting premise.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
play as a 2-year-old kid waking up in his crib from a nightmare or
Now,
like a thunderstorm. or
Before you
something.
go on a little bit, I have to say this is genius.
Yeah,
Why has
it
no one
is.
thought of
Yeah.
I usually judge how much I like something by how jealous I am that I didn't come up with it myself. That's like my gauge, pretty much. Works with music, movies, everything.
Yeah.
I looked at it and I was like, God damn it, this is freaking genius.
Now this is only freaking genius because it's an indie game.
Yes.
If this was like a full-length game, I would have been like, ooh, no.
Yeah.
One of the things I love about anything is originality.
Yes.
Something that's never been done before in any capacity ever.
And I
Yeah.
also like integrity, which is
Yeah.
looks like this has.
So I mean, like, it kind of just looks like an interactive movie in the sense that, like, you're a baby and you can't fight, you know?
Believe it or not, it says it's gonna have creative puzzles and stuff.
That's exactly what it should be.
Exactly. I mean, like, there's gonna be no combat.
I don't think so. No. And if there is, I'll be sad because that would be lame. Like
Yeah,
if it turns out the
really
baby like stands up with a gun, I'm like, no.
I mean, like, you know, how far can they take something like that? Like, press X to poop.
Yeah, like, what's really interesting, it might be a whole new brand of survival horror, just in the fact that the scares, it's from the perspective of you're not really sure if you're awake or asleep. You're kind of like sleepy,
Right.
so the scares are
Like the scary guy that walks past the door.
Yeah, right, like that, and the fact that you're 2 years old, so
Yeah.
you don't know what you're scared of.
I'm expecting, since it's a baby and babies really have no concept of, you know, monsters and, you know, demons and all that stuff, I expect it to be very surreal, like really weird looking monsters that, you wouldn't really imagine.
Like
Yeah.
I almost think it would be cool if the baby doesn't understand and like goes with a bad man. You know what I mean?
Something like that.
There's a lot of possibilities
There's a lot-
to
yeah.
see. I imagine it'll be a short game.
Yeah.
Right? I imagine it'll be a pretty short game.
Like I was saying before, even though this is a pretty cool idea, I wouldn't be able to play like a full length version of a baby.
Right.
You know?
But I could see it being like a Portal type of thing where it's a short little idea.
Like a Portal length game would be perfect for this.
Yep. So I guess we'll have to see what happens with that. You're gonna keep us posted on that.
Definitely, yeah.
All right,
I mean,
good.
it could be, a short little simple thing, or it could kind of change the way people think about scary games.
Which I hope so.
Yeah.
Which kind of contradicts what we got news a little later.
Yeah,
but we'll talk
coming
about
up.
We'll get to that.
Yeah. But first, we've got some news relevant to the last week's poll, actually. Last week's poll,
yes,
by the
it's
way,
very
was...
relevant.
we were talking about what game would you like to see an HD re-release of, and now this happens.
Doom 3,
Mm-hmm.
which is pretty cool. Doom 3 was definitely one of, my favorite games back, the early Xbox days. I remember when it first came out on PC, my friend had it. He had a big computer in his basement, and we'd go down there.
We don't need to hear this. This is rated R.
All right. But we used to have great fun with it. But
It was scary.
yeah, it was really scary. That's a perfect. Doom 3 is a perfect example where they mix action and scary.
Yeah.
Perfectly.
See, now, I actually loved the Doom movie with The Rock.
Really?
I'm just kidding. I wanted to see what it feels like to be Jake.
So it's your basic HD overhaul for Xbox 360, PS3. Redid graphics.
The works.
The works. It's going to include the expansion pack that came out for it, and also some new stuff, like a new level. It's like an hour's worth.
I heard this.
new
Yeah, I
stuff.
was gonna say I read that there was like hours worth of new content.
That's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
It's interesting.
Bro. It's also going to be compatible with this virtual reality thing.
Some potential upcoming hardware.
Yeah, that's coming out. That basically you just strap a big
Screen on your face.
and John Carmack and some people who work at id say it's extremely immersive and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But that's one of those things you got to see to believe. There's no
Yeah.
way they can take a picture of what you see in those
Yeah,
things.
no. Not at
Well,
all.
if they can make that 3D, like if you have like
That's what they're
3D
saying. It's going to
vision.
be. That's
inside this thing, and you're playing a game, that's the future. That's it.
Yeah,
that's the future of
that's what
gaming.
they're
I
saying.
would absolutely
Yeah.
100% love that.
But here's the thing. I don't expect this to be under $150.
no, I would think around $200, $300.
Yeah, this is gonna be some expensive hardware.
But it's this type of thing you buy once. That
Yeah.
might actually be like the console of the future. There might not even be a console. It might be on your head, for God's sake,
But
So-
the way they displayed it is like on the screen. It's like a split screen.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the vision kind of like puts it together.
Yeah, 'cause
Right.
your eyeballs.
So yeah,
or
it's
something.
3D in your face.
Right. And they have stuff like this at like, Chuck E. Cheese. They have like little kind of games like this where you bring it down. It's a big old version of what we're talking about.
Yeah. That's-
But it's cool. It's very old, but I can imagine this being huge.
If it works, it'll
Right.
be huge. If this works, I will no doubt spend $200 or
yeah,
something like this.
I would
That
too, and I'm
be-
not even a
yeah.
big gamer. I would too.
That would be the future of video games.
Mm-hmm.
But like with the other virtual reality video games, like way back in the 80s with Virtual Boy, which like almost blinded a whole bunch of kids. You can see how this might, not work
take
out.
off immediately.
But
Yeah.
I think it would be awesome if this was good and it did take off. That would be
That would be great.
awesome.
'Cause I keep picturing playing Arkham City or Arkham Asylum with it.
I'm thinking this would be better with like first person. Because that's
Well, that would
yeah,
have to
you
be. It
idiot.
would have to become first person. Is what I'm saying. Like I
Yeah.
imagine I'm saying like that world in that game.
Spider-Man.
There you
Stop.
go. Yeah.
Stop. I don't even want to think about it. Stop. It's not even a reality,
cool.
so knock it off.
Speaking of Batman and Spider-Man, but more Batman.
Yeah, actually not Spider-Man at all.
Okay, well, shut up. The creators of Mortal Kombat, NetherRealm Studios, are making a new fighting game, and it's going to be just based on DC superheroes. It's called Injustice: Gods Among Us, and you play as DC heroes and villains using the Mortal Kombat engine, the newest Mortal Kombat. So it's 2D fighting with 3D graphics.
Okay.
Now, this is confusing to me on many levels. At first, I was like, what the hell is going on? It's like, it said, like, the world's most famous heroes
are against us or something like that.
Something like a threat.
Yeah.
It was like, well, why?
Yeah.
They didn't show any of that. They just show, like, Superman punched a Flash into orbit.
You expect there to be a little bit of a storyline after they say that, but
not
then
even
what?
that. I mean, it's just like any kind of like just a hint of
indication of what the heck you mean by that.
I mean, like even if it's just like an arcade style fighting game with no story at all, just say that.
Yeah. Why are they a threat now? I don't understand.
It should have just came out and be like, they're gonna fight.
Yeah. Cool.
They're gonna fight. Oh!
Now, it's confirmed that it's just a fighter?
Yeah, it's just a fighter,
gotcha.
and it's got a lot of cool characters you can already see in the trailer. Batman, Wonder Woman, Lex Luthor, Superman, the Flash.
That is
How
cool.
the hell is anybody gonna beat Superman?
That's what we were talking about before. Yeah. Just very briefly, when someone I'm sure right now is already writing a comment like, "Well, you could beat Superman, but it's all about preparation with beating Superman."
Yeah, prep time. You need Batman's prep time.
Exactly. In this, when you're just fighting physically, like
with
hand to hand,
Yeah, Superman hand to hand. It's like Superman has literally. I think there was a comic where Superman literally punched reality and broke it. I think that actually happened in the comic.
Chuck Norris? Like, what is that?
So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess he's going to be kind of dumbed down.
They're going to have some kind of story how they can explain how they're all fighting each other. Like, an asteroid comes and makes all their powers
Gives
not
them
as
all
good.
powers
or gives them all super strength.
Yeah,
Or
I
whatever.
gotcha.
So this looks pretty cool. It looks way better than DC Universe versus Mortal Kombat.
Oh, God, that sucked.
Yeah, I think this trailer was awesome. Like the part where it goes up in between the lasers.
Yeah,
that's
very
awesome.
cool.
So I'm looking forward to it. I'm not even a DC guy really. I know way less about DC than Marvel. But I'm still looking forward to it.
Yeah, so
Just for fun.
that's a thing.
Okay.
Game Informer's new cover coming out later this month revealed that Gears of War is going to be on the cover, and it's going to be a prequel.
Now, I think we actually called this specifically.
I don't remember.
Did we?
I think we were talking about Gears of War, and I think we said if there's ever going to be a new Gears of War game, it had to be a prequel.
Yeah, they have to go back.
Oh,
They
okay.
can't-
But,
So maybe you did. I kind of do remember you saying that. Yeah.
Can we have the cover? Can it be like that?
Yes, it's right there already. You
Okay,
don't even
see,
have to
there
ask.
it is. You can see in the cover there's two COG characters with an explosion behind them, and they're bringing in someone in handcuffs, and it's obviously Marcus Phoenix, because if you remember, the first Gears of War game, you started out in jail. This was a long time ago.
I'm guessing this game is going to take place during the Pendulum Wars. I think
Yeah,
they called
very
it.
good. Yeah, I couldn't even remember that.
I
was like,
knew
What's
that.
war? What is that war?
Which basically, in Gears of War, if you never played it, you fight a whole bunch of monsters called the Locusts. But before that, there was like a civil war between humans.
Yeah.
So
and
is
Marcus went to jail.
Yeah. So is this just going to be like a war game?
Yeah.
But with no monsters? Because that's the staple of Gears of War, that you fight big monsters.
That's
Yeah.
the thing, though. I think it needs to be something different. I got sick of Gears of War.
So
Gears of
the
War
Gears
th-
of War game, like the style of the game and everything, but without the locusts?
Yeah, and that's just like fight
If they're
humans.
going to go that route, it needs to be so radically different, because
You think
it'd
so?
just be like,
Yeah.
oh, Gears of War with no locusts. What? Okay.
Yeah, that's weird.
So since Gears of War, this prequel is going to be on a magazine cover, it's got to be pretty far along.
Yeah.
They must have something to show for it.
So it has a lot to prove. So keep your face on it.
And finally, we got some pretty disappointing Dead Space 3 news. We talked about this subject a couple episodes ago about is survival horror truly dead, or is it just going to be action?
like Resident Evil.
stuff for the rest of time.
Yeah.
Turns out there's been some information leaked about Dead Space 3. There has been some pictures leaked and some game information. And it turns out that they're bringing co-op gameplay, cover-based gameplay into Dead Space, pretty much just to completely take away the horror aspect and completely go full-on action, which sucks.
Yeah.
Right?
I don't even
Yeah.
play, but I do think it sucks as well. What's happening now?
Oh, he
Was that a facepalm?
It was a face palm. I hurt my nose.
That did sound like it broke, actually.
We don't have a full trailer yet. However, they have released this horrible motion comic trailer. Not a
Sorry,
trailer.
my nose is like.
Yeah.
I need tissue. Is it bleeding?
So they released this horrible motion comic trailer thing that's probably one of the worst promotional videos I've ever seen
For a
anything.
stupid new character that they're going to
Not only, I mean, Dead Space has always had this kind of motion comic thing.
Yeah.
Which which is dumb. It's like, it shows like the characters like bouncing around. Like,
and their mouths don't move.
So it looks like South Park. Not even as good as South Park.
Their mouths don't move. Like you see the speech bubbles. It's like it's bad. But like it apparently from the information in this trailer, something happens.
With a marker, of course.
And there's a new character, and he's badass, and he's got
he's edgy.
He's edgy. He's got glowing
So
red
loose
eyes.
cannon cop on the edge.
Exactly.
I think that's actually what he kind of is.
If it is, then they ripped off the Fairly Odd Parents.
They need to step up their marketing.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay.
and also, I mean, like we said, this is all leaked information.
Right.
They could be going with a big horror thing, but with this whole co-op thing,
And also the zombies with guns.
oh, we didn't even get to that. Well,
yeah, that's why there's cover.
all right, so let's get to that now.
Oh, God.
Oh,
All
here
right.
goes Dad.
There's
So-
Dad's
There's
angry.
a screenshot, right?
Yeah, for the past two Dead Space games, you fought these monsters called necromorphs, and they're
scary.
pretty scary things. You know, they come at you with claws and stuff.
Like that.
Yeah, and now apparently in this game,
As you can see here.
with
It's
the
been up the
screenshot,
whole time, yeah.
they're more humanized and they can wield weapons.
Yeah, what?
Which like there's no more horror left. The horror is all gone. This is
Yeah, which is crazy.
yeah. It's oh
It
God,
leads to
yeah.
the next screenshot, the one of Isaac popping out from cover with a machine gun. Like, what? What is that? That's
Yeah.
nuts. That's not Dead Space.
I don't expect EA to not make a good game. Like, you know, I think it's going to be good.
Solid, yeah.
Solid.
But good as a different game than you
Yeah,
want.
with a different title.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's
yeah.
not going to be a good Dead Space game. I mean, I can already tell. I mean, that's not good.
That's a lot of video game news.
Yeah.
There's going to be even more when E3 happens.
Oh, it's going to
So-
be big. For the next couple of weeks, expect pretty much it to be like a big old hot spot for video games.
Be on your butt.
Might even have to add a whole new section or something, like a new video.
Really?
Well, we'll see. Now that face made me uncomfortable about it. And that's it for news this week. Once again, lots of video game news. Pretty crazy. Thank you, boys.
Sorry, I mean, video games.
Yeah.
Huh.
But we do have a couple trailers to talk about, and we will talk about those after we take a quick commercial break.
While we're on commercial break, I just want to share with you guys. I wrote you guys a song the other day. It's
Oh.
I've been working on it really long and hard
For how many years?
for 4 years. So as long as I knew you guys, I wrote this song. This is for you. This is for you two guys.
Okay.
It comes from the bottom of
All
my
right,
heart.
Mike.
It comes from the bottom of my heart.
Go ahead, we're listening.
I call it Warm Sunshine. Here we go.
Is that it?
That's it. That's it.
That's it, really?
But you didn't. All you did was play one thing.
That's how I feel about you guys.
That's deep. I get it. It's like a one note.
Shut up!
So let's get into the trailers that came out this week. All the links to all the trailers we're about to talk about are down in the info if you'd like to check them out along with us. First up is Les Mis.
Now, nothing against Les Mis, but just another example of why.
Totally disagree. I think it
Really?
looks phenomenal.
I didn't see anything about this.
I think the cinematography. I almost cried watching it. It looks
Really?
beautiful,
Now,
absolutely gorgeous.
I can appreciate that. I can appreciate, great acting, great cinematography. I'm sure it's going to be a great movie.
But you're just saying why this
It's
is
like,
something,
yeah,
once again,
we-
just making something that already exists.
We know the story from beginning, middle, end, perfectly.
The
It's
only
like-
difference here is I don't think has there been a big movie like this with the music. I know they made a Les Mis movie
Yes,
that
it
was
was a
not
musical.
music.
That's the thing.
I've never seen.
Oh.
I didn't see one that was a musical. There was one that was made that did not have music, but I don't remember if they ever made one that was a musical, a movie.
You see, the guy who is making The Great Gatsby should have made this.
Yeah.
Oh no, I disagree because
Oh,
this is a. I'm sorry, yeah, that was weird. This is a very sad story. Like, it wouldn't work in kind of like the fun atmosphere of his movie. You know what I mean?
But I think a musical has to be a little whoa!
No, but this is not that at all. This is
Sad.
the whole point of this is that's why it's Les Mis. It's the depressing musical. Like it's
Yeah.
nothing but depressing. There's
I kinda-
nothing happy about it.
I kind of want to go with Mike with this one, but I kind of feel like, why can't this just be a movie? I don't want singing. I know there was already
Oh,
one.
I
know
totally
I sound
disagree.
so dumb,
I
but
disagree.
can't this just be a movie, right, Mike?
I kind of agree
Would you
with.
rather watch it?
I do agree with Jake because we the musical exists already. This
I'd
is
go see
every-
the musical.
So does the
Yeah.
movie without the music.
So let's just watch those.
Why is there another one? That one was made in like 1998 or
Okay,
something.
I see what you guys are saying, and I understand and I agree with the fact of just why keep remaking things that have already been done. But I have to say, if we just accept that, accepting that and saying, okay, this movie is here, it's happening.
Yes, which I agree
have
with.
to say that, and I do agree with what you're saying. I have to say, I think, and I was surprised because I was in the high school production of Les Mis when I was in high school, and I'm sick of it. I'm goddamn sick of it because I saw it like a million times, and it's just, But I have to say, I almost cried watching the trailer. It was unbelievable. Like, I think it looks amazing.
Good cast.
Great cast. Oh, Anne Hathaway shocked me. She seems fantastic in this. Hugh Jackman looks epic. Russell Crowe is the only one I think looks kind of because I feel like we've seen, it's like...
But I'm not surprised that Russell Crowe is in this.
No, I'm not surprised either. It's not what I pictured exactly for that character.
I can't wait to hear him sing.
But, yeah. But I do have to say that I think it looks great. I understand what you guys are saying, but considering the fact that it's already made, I think it looks great. Next up is the new trailer for Red Lights.
Are there no real challenges left out there?
Silver's a real challenge.
Silver's already been investigated.
Yeah, like 30 years ago. We should investigate him now.
Oh, yay, it's in English.
Indeed it is, yes, because we have had Spanish trailers before this. I think there was one other trailer in English. I don't even remember now. It's been a while. But I saw this film at Sundance.
Oh.
It is directed by Rodrigo Cortés, who did Buried. And this is like his next big movie, next feature film. And I was really looking forward to it because I loved Buried in terms of the directing more so than the writing. Some of it was a little goofy, but the directing was fantastic and very risky. And I'm not going to tell you what I thought of the movie, but I want to know what you guys think of the trailer.
I think the story is original. I did giggle when I saw that. What's his name?
De Niro.
De Niro is some kind of psychic.
Oh, yeah.
I was like.
So you're not having that?
No, it's not that I'm not having that. Just
Okay.
like when they said they were talking about this famous psychic, and then Robert De Niro comes up.
Oh, yeah.
I was like,
really? Yeah. So it's just the fact that it's De Niro.
Yeah,
Okay,
nothing
okay.
about. But I really don't know. Usually I have a clear stance of whether or not I think this is going to be good or not. But with this, I'm like, I don't know. It kind of looks like a cross between Drag Me to Hell and like something
Scooby-Doo?
else. Scooby-Doo. Yeah.
And the last trailer we're going to go into is the new trailer for The Bourne. What the hell is it called? Legacy. I don't give half a darn about this, really, to be honest with you.
Me neither. And I actually worked on it too.
You did, that's
I
right,
did.
that's right. And I think we said this when the teaser came out. I just never really was into the Bourne movies at all, so I just don't care.
I am expecting more of the same. The Bourne movies were never much of a plot. It's like, there's no story. It's like, I've got amnesia. Who am I? Up, 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 up.
I imagine that a lot of Bourne fans are going to be pissed at you for saying that, because it seems
Are
like
there
there's a
Bourne
lot.
fans?
Oh, I think that there's like a big fan base, no?
I
It
don't
seems
know
like there
about
is.
that.
Why do they
Video
keep
game
making
that sold
them?
millions.
Why do they keep making them then? There's got to be fans.
I guess so, but it's like they're not bad movies. They're
Right.
fight movies.
I'm not saying they're bad at all. I'm just
Yeah.
saying it's not my thing. Now, what do you think? Seems like you think it's something different than us, no?
You know what? I think this could be good because the last Bourne movies were good. I liked them.
Right.
But they didn't really hold, like, I don't remember them. I'm like,
Yeah.
I saw the Bourne Ultimatum, and I remember Matt Damon was, like, on a phone.
Well, that's the thing. That's the thing. There's no story, but like the only thing you remember is like memorable action scenes. Like
I remember him going through the window.
Yeah, I was just about to say that. Remember when Matt Damon went through the window?
I do.
I feel like now that they're kind of like not restarting it, but whatever, they could inject a little bit more.
That's
excitement
true.
into it
That's true.
and
Yeah.
bring dumb people like us to like it.
I don't.
Yeah,
I
there
don't
you go.
think they're going to though.
Well, I guess we'll have to see. I'm just saying for now,
The trailer
I'm not interested, so there you go.
Jeremy Renner, get out. What are you doing in this movie? You gotta have his mug in every single freaking movie.
James, stop.
James.
James.
James, stop.
Who the F is James? Some other trailers out this week are the full trailer for Maniac, also the trailers for Branded, The Invisible War, and Wallander. Nothing super exciting.
Vollander. It's like from a
is
different
it?
language country.
I'm just reading it off a page. And that's it for trailers and news and everything this week. Moving on to the poll. Last week's poll question was, what video game would you like to see have an HD re-release? And we had hundreds of people vote in the poll, like over 600 or 700. It was one of the most popular polls so far, actually.
Cool.
One person voted for Doom.
Oh!
Okay.
That's
You don't
it.
win anything.
Well, except for the HD re-release of Doom. You
Yeah,
actually got what you wanted.
congratulations.
Now, the top winners, whatever, 250 people said Kingdom Hearts.
Nice. That could be coming.
Well, I would say this is very expected. I think this is definitely on the way. Maybe even next year on the way. I'm surprised they haven't done this already. And while I wasn't a huge fan of Kingdom Hearts, like I'm not saying it was a bad game.
You could
was
see
just,
it happening,
Yeah,
though.
just
Yeah.
wasn't my thing.
In second place with 150 votes was Crash Bandicoot.
Cool.
Cool. I mean,
Kind
that
of
would be
impossible.
You know, it'd be cool if like not just like a port, but like a complete HD
That's what they'd have to
overhaul
do.
of like the Crash Bandicoot games. That would be great.
Like new graphics and everything.
Yeah, like
crazy.
there's like this Doom thing. Like they're not starting from scratch.
It's
they're
a
just
port pretty
they're
much,
updating.
Right,
like-
and it's like better skins and stuff, isn't it? Or
Well, yeah,
no?
well, I guess with stuff like this, like they'll take the highest end PC version
Okay.
and then put that on the Xbox.
Gotcha.
But like with Crash Bandicoot, they'd have to like start from like
scratch
stage
almost.
one.
Oh
Yeah.
wow, okay.
Get on it, Naughty Dog. I'm gonna email them.
And in third place with 100 votes was The Legend of Zelda Majora's Mask. Now, we already got the Ocarina of Time.
Yeah.
It was a port,
Yeah.
though, right? I believe, yeah. So I guess they
Scary.
didn't do that. I thought, why did I think that they did do that already, Majora's Mask? They didn't?
Because it's terrifying.
Oh,
They
well,
shouldn't.
that's irrelevant, I think. But they didn't do that. I thought they already did a re-release of that.
No, they did the GameCube ones, but
That doesn't count?
It's not
Oh,
HD,
okay,
it's scaled
gotcha.
up.
Right,
now,
right.
Now again, I'm not a fan of the Zelda series because I don't hate them. I just not my game.
Okay.
But I would have loved them to see like an HD reboot of like the Super Nintendo Zelda games.
That would be
Like,
cool.
Those are the games I remember,
Oh my
like
God.
the overview ones.
Yes, yeah.
Imagine
That
that,
would be
like
crazy.
in HD. That would be
That
amazing.
would be great.
And like 3D.
And 3D.
Yeah,
Well,
that
that would 3D wouldn't work because you're overhead.
I'm just talking out of my butthole. So that was last week's poll. This week's poll is, what are you most looking forward to at E3? With all the video game news this week, of course we have to talk about E3
So there's
next week.
Yeah, there's sequels coming out. Their consoles could be announced. So
So anything is open. Consoles, video games, anything. What are you looking forward to most at E3 2012? We will announce next week what you're most excited about, and of course you can vote by clicking the link down in the info to go to our Facebook page and vote. And while you're over there, please do like us on Facebook. Thank you very much if you do. And finally, the giveaway winners this week are Jacob Anderson and Hannah Likes. I actually don't have the name in front of me, but that's her Tumblr name. I assume it's a girl.
Cool name.
But you guys will be contacted, of course, and you will be winning a copy of 96 Minutes, Goon, or We Need to Talk About Kevin on DVD.
Wow, Goon's out on DVD
Already, I know.
I guess it was.
It was
Okay.
actually good. No, it was good.
I didn't watch your review. I should have.
What a douche. Now, by the way, in case you don't know how these people are winning the giveaways here, you have to watch the Monday show. We announce the giveaway every week in the Monday show, so make sure you're watching both. And that's it for this week on pretty much it.
it was a big week for
Video games. Kind of a weird week overall for news, I would say. Some good news, some bad news, some weird news. Iron Man 3's a lot of weird stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, overall, kind of an interesting week.
I had a good time.
Yeah, I had a good time. I enjoy hanging out with
Yep.
you guys. Also, Mike wrote that beautiful song about us, and I appreciated that.
It was
that
alright.
that was nice. Yeah, it wasn't.
little
It was actually
short-lived.
pretty awful, but it was it was something. And yeah, so that's pretty much it.
The creators of Mortal Kombat, NetherRealm Studios, are making a new fighting game, and it's going to be just based on DC superheroes. It's called Injustice. What the f*** is it called? Sorry.
League of Demons.
Gods Among Us.
It's going to be called Injustice,
Gods
Gods
Among
Among
Us.
Us.
It's going to be called a...
I'm sorry, Eric.
Mike.
Okay,